Hey everyone, good morning. It's Rebecca, and you are watching Rebecca Undem Live. This is the early morning edition today, and the hotel edition. And my 1-900 sex phone operator voice today. You guys are the first people I've spoken to today, so it's kind of the deal, right? Thank you so much for joining me. It's Monday morning. It's dreary as all get out in Fargo, North Dakota today. I have a speaking engagement. I'll be I'll actually be right on stage at 9 o'clock. So I had to bump this up a couple of hours. So I know a lot of you will be watching this on replay. I doubt that a whole lot of you are going to be live with me this morning, and that's totally okay. But if you do come on, please say hello and good morning. I would love to see who's with me today. We are continuing our monthly theme of creativity by discussing today why we need it in business specifically. And so, oh, that's really loud. I'm going to shut that off while we're talking here. So whether you are a business owner or you work for somebody else, business is business. And so we're talking really about it from a professional standpoint, right? Like when you're at work, why do we need creativity, and why does it make a difference? And so I will say that I specifically think about this from the standpoint of being an entrepreneur. And that's some of the things that we're going to talk about. So again, if you remember us talking last week, creativity is not this thing that only a certain number of people have. It's not a have or a have not kind of thing. Creativity is actually a skill. It's a discipline. It's something that we can all develop should we choose. And so when we're thinking about it in the context of business, I really like to think of creativity as creating value. And so as we talk about these 5 things, so really I'm going to share 5 things or accomplishments, I guess, that creativity helps us get in our business. And then I've got another kind of thing I want to share. I'm going to make a plug for a friend's business of mine. I love to do that when I can, when it applies. And today it certainly does. Okay, so without further ado, because again, I know a lot of you will watch this on replay, and interplay on these things is always really fun, but I get that it's early. Hopefully you're just enjoying a cup of coffee somewhere. So, okay, so here are the 5 things that creativity helps us do when it comes to business. First of all, it helps us to gain other people's or other perspectives. And I think, again, so this is kind of twofold. It's not just what it helps us do, but it's also, I think, ideas for you to actually stretch that creativity within your business or at work. So I don't know about you, but I know that I geek out a little bit over personality assessments, and I like to know, I love knowing my Myers-Briggs. I think knowing my DISC profile is really interesting. I love the fascination report. Those are a few that I'm really familiar with, and I love them. I think what those things help us to realize, though, if we're paying attention, is that there are multiple viewpoints and multiple ways to view the world. And especially when I think of the Myers-Briggs, it's not just the way to view the world, but it's the way we make decisions and the way that we perceive things, the way we take in information, all of those things. When you think about the fact that you are just one representation of lots of options. In the Myers-Briggs, there's 16 different personality profiles. When you think about that, it should help you realize that we need to get out of our own heads if we really want to have good solutions. If we want to be creative, we have to get out of our own heads and invite in the outside perspectives of other people. And I know it really can be hard sometimes, right? Sometimes it's hard to take feedback. Sometimes it's hard to ask for help. Sometimes it's hard to hear the feedback. You ask for it and then you get it, and maybe sometimes it kind of hurts. That can be hard, but that's what the creative process is getting outside of yourself and allowing other people's viewpoints to be heard and to be seen. It just helps you shed light on a situation in lots of different angles. Number 2, it helps us to connect the dots. So again, so what's interesting about this one is this idea of making connections and seeing patterns. The Myers-Briggs has the second letter of the Myers-Briggs, the N or the S. It stands for intuition or a sensing preference. And again, Myers-Briggs, and I'd encourage you to look it up. You can take a free personality assessment. Just Google it. You'll find one. The N and the S is all about the way that we view the world, whether we like to take a big picture shot, so seeing the trees for the forest, which would be that detail, like I see every single tree instead of the whole thing. So people often say that about people that get bogged down in the weeds of things when they're planning projects or they're trying to implement something, or people that take a big picture view, right, and see the whole thing. So some people are naturally more adept at connecting the dots. But creativity, that creative process, when you get other people involved, again, it helps you see patterns that maybe weren't there before. And that's really what's important from a business standpoint in drawing good conclusions, I think, and problem solving. Again, this whole idea of creativity is not just making art. It's not arts and crafts. It's not Mod Podge and, glitter. I know those things are lovely, but it really is about how we tackle day-to-day problems, and how we, especially if any of you are that are going to watch this are solopreneurs and you're in your business all by yourself, we really have to figure out ways to gain new perspectives, and creativity is the way to do that. So hopefully some of these things will give you ideas of how you can do it in your business too. I think the third thing is it will help you maximize your resources. Because again, let's be real, especially if you're a solopreneur, you are limited on time and energy for sure, right? There are a million things to do. All of the facets of your business need to be done, and you need to do them. But I think if we're honest, a lot of us are limited on cash. Like there's only so much money to go around to extend your business, to grow your business. And so again, that idea of getting new perspectives, pulling in new ideas, it can really help you maximize whatever resources you do have, even if they feel super limited. Number 4, it allows us to innovate. So innovation is this thing that everybody wants, everybody talks about, especially bigger companies too, with lots of people in them. They're constantly talking about how do we innovate. Well, creativity is the thing that helps us do that. And the interesting thing about creativity too is that, or innovation, too, is that we think of innovation as like being out on the edge of technology, or getting ahead. And I think it sounds like a daunting thing, but realistically, it is figuring out how to adapt and change your business, or again, your career. If you're a leader in a company and you've got people that work with you or for you, being able to adapt to personalities. Here's the thing. And again, I shared this last week.